Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so today I want to make a video addressing something because apparently there is Roman derangement syndrome within the wrestling community now. Because apparently people are under the belief that the world championship, the world heavyweight championship title is now relevant because of Roman. That is a fucking lie. You are delusional if you think that, oh, because he cut a promo like that. Roman's cut a bunch of dumb fucking promos out of there, which is another reason why I don't like Roman. The fact of the matter is, as a wrestler, might I add, not as a person. Roman's a good person, but as a wrestler, nah. This is why I don't like Roman, because he buys into this bullshit that isn't fucking true. It's the same reason why I hated his fucking title run. I hated his original title runs because it was Vince McMahon's force feeding, but that fucking 1,000 plus day championship run that he had, it was all, once again, manufactual bullshit. Oh, WWE got great numbers because of me. Because I was the champion. I was the tribal chief. Motherfucker, WWE was going to get more money regardless of your presence. That's facts on motherfucking facts. When has WWE not grown as a fucking company throughout fucking history? All right, ever since WCW went out of business. Of course they were going to grow as a company. AEW just came around in 2019. All right, it's not like AEW was going to stop them, regardless of how big that they have been paying people salaries. Okay, you really think AEW was going to compete with WWE during Roman's tribal chief period? Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. All right? Oh, Roman saved everybody, during the COVID pandemic or whatever for wrestling. No, he didn't. He was gone for a while, too, during the pandemic. Again, this is revisionist history bullshit that I'm so fucking sick and tired. This is why I just don't fucking like Roman. Okay? I hate his character. His character is grifting bullshit, and you got these deranged fucking syndrome fucking Roman fans that want to just fucking worship this guy like he's the greatest fucking thing ever, and he's fucking not. He can't hold a handle to The Rock. He can't hold a handle to Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you say he does, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? I'm just gonna say it right now. Oh, I'm the fucking tribal fucking chief. I fucking made wrestling the biggest thing here. No, you didn't, dude. You fucking didn't. And also, newsflash, motherfucker, he only fucking got a 5-star match because of CM Punk. You want to know why I know that? Because he's never had one before Punk. Facts on motherfucking facts. Why couldn't Roman have a 5-star match? Why couldn't Roman have a 5-star match up to this point? You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't he have a 5-star match, guys? Why did he need CM Punk to get to a 5-star match? If Roman Reigns was as good as people think he was, why couldn't he have a 5-star match until now? Why did he have to be known as the guy that Vince McMahon always picked for all the main events? Force feeding. Why did he have to be known as the guy who, for his 1,000-day run, 95% of that reign was him, using the bloodline to win the matches? Why is it that that's all we remember Roman by? What CM Punk said wasn't wrong. When he said that Roman, how many WrestleMania matches were you in that people remember? How many fucking WrestleMania matches you all actually remember? Because the only WrestleMania matches I remember that he was in were all crap dusters. The one with Brock, which turned into a triple threat, people remember Seth for. Okay, cashing in. What else? What else about Roman? Okay, what was the... Oh, yeah, what was that, 34? Was it? Which one was it, 34 or 35? It was one of those two. Okay, the one where Roman took on Brock again, right? People had dubbed that at the time the worst main event of all time. Okay, one of them. Okay, if not close, damn near to the top of the mountain for worst main events. I mean, my God. And I don't even want to... I hate having to make a video like this because I know Roman's a good guy in real life. Okay, Roman's a good dude in real life, but as a wrestler, man, I don't like him. It's the same thing with fucking John Cena. I respect John Cena outside of the ring, the contributions he does and all that stuff. I don't like him as a wrestler. But the reason why I'm making this video is mostly because of the fucking Roman dick riders that are in this fandom, in this WWE fandom. Oh, Roman fucking does, he made the world championship the main title. And no, he fucking didn't. CM Punk made it the main fucking title. All right, that's facts. All right, dude, before CM Punk got into the world title, okay, literally, this is facts on facts. How many main events has this world title been in since it was created? Not many. Okay, when CM Punk entered the world title picture last year when he took on Gunther at SummerSlam, all right, it was in the main event of SummerSlam. Gunther, sorry. It was in the main event. So why is it, prior to that, the world title was a fucking match at WrestleMania between Jey Uso and Gunther, right? The first irrelevant match it had was Goldberg's retirement match, okay? And that was just because it was Goldberg's retirement match. All right, before that, the WrestleMania before that, Drew McIntyre faced Seth Rollins again, opening match. Okay? Opening fucking match. All right. Like, this is facts. You cannot deny this. These are facts, man. These are facts. You cannot deny this. CM Punk literally is the reason why this title is where it is right now. Roman Reigns diminished this title. He said the moment this title was created that it was a consolational prize. This is direct quote from him when he was still the Universal Champion or the WWE Champion. He was both those champions. He was saying it was a consolation prize. And you're telling me that Roman is saying, oh, it's the main title now. I'm like, bro, it's the main title because CM Punk made it the main title. When Punk was champion, people viewed that title as the main title over Cody Rhodes' title. That's fact. People did not give a shit about Cody Rhodes' title run. Okay, after he won that title at SummerSlam against Cena, people slowly started to not care. By November, no one cared about that fucking title. Okay, nobody cared that he was holding the title. They were actually happy when Drew won it because it freshened things up. But that was only just so Cody could win the title back from WrestleMania, which, of course, those plans changed. So instead, it turned into a SmackDown match where he beat him on SmackDown instead. But that's besides the point. All right? Punk's the one who made the title the main title. All right? He's the one that made it interesting. Because it had no lineage. It didn't carry over the original lineage of the 2002 title that Triple H was awarded, which I still don't understand why Triple H didn't do that. Okay. Because then at least it had the old historical lineage from, the Ruthless Aggression era, right? Where you could, link back to all the stuff, even, when the design is, the design is based off of the big gold. All right. I mean, yeah, it's cheesy compared to the big gold, but that was what they were going for. They were trying to do something similar to what the big gold looked like in modern day, but it doesn't really look that good, honestly. But in comparison to the big gold. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm so sick of these Roman fucking dumbasses, these weirdos, man. Like, oh my god, it's so annoying, man. Like, I just, I didn't want to make this freaking video, but I'm like so sick and tired. And this is what I hated about when Roman won, because I knew we were gonna get these dumbasses that come out and just be like, "Oh, Roman's the best thing ever." Once again, he made the world title the best title ever. No, he didn't. CM Punk made the title the best title over Cody's title. All right, nobody cares about Cody's title right now. And the reason why people don't care about Cody's title right now is because they're not freshening up his character. It's the same character. Look, I like Cody Rhodes. The problem with Cody Rhodes is he's not progressing as a character, unfortunately. And that may be Cody, that may be WWE. I don't fucking know what it is. But it's just they're not progressing his character. It's the same thing. He's doing the same shit. That's why people are growing tired of him. If you don't progress your character forward, there's nothing you can do. The reason why people cheer for CM Punk and they don't grow tired of Punk, because here's the trend. Notice how when CM Punk was world champion, they don't do what Cody Rhodes gets right now. When Cody Rhodes wins the title, people are now growing tired of him. They boo him sometimes. Sometimes they cheer him. But you never see that with CM Punk. You never seen that with CM Punk in his world title run. They don't grow tired of him. And Cody's a full-time wrestler just like Punk is. Okay? The reason is because Cody hasn't progressed his character. He hasn't done anything different. He's doing the same thing, which people liked at first, but they want to see something new. He's not progressing his character. CM Punk, on the other hand, is a relatable character because you can believe in Punk. Punk's a straight edge wrestler. He is, you believe in him because he's an underdog. He wasn't from a wrestling family like Roman or Cody. Okay? And that is always going to haunt any wrestlers like Roman or Cody Rhodes. Is they have bloodlines, okay? Not to, coin the phrase of, what Roman, his whole freaking faction or whatever, the bloodline, but it really is. They have a bloodline, okay? Cody has a bloodline as well, too, okay? CM Punk doesn't have bloodline. This is why Punk is more relatable as a character, all right? And that is something that WWE or management or creative is never going to get past anybody. That is never going to change that fact. It doesn't matter how Cody presents himself as like an underdog or anything like that. It's never going to change because everyone knows in this day and age, if you have a wrestling background, if your family was a second or third or fourth generation superstar, they're always going to know that now. So you have to overcome that as a wrestler. CM Punk is real because CM Punk doesn't have a bloodline. He never had connections. He made it himself. He earned it himself. He's straight edge, okay? He didn't take the bad stuff to make their bodies bigger like a lot of wrestlers do. Or did, I should say. Not so much the influence of today, but I mean, I'm sure there are still some people that still do it today, just not as much compared to yesteryear. But you get what I'm saying. This is what, the typical stereotype is when it comes to wrestling. Punk doesn't have that. This is why Punk is relatable. This is why Punk gets cheered more than anybody. People never grow tired. No, Punk could have been champion for a year. He could have been a world champion for a year, and people wouldn't have grown tired of him because people believe in Punk. People believe in CM Punk. They don't believe in these other guys. And this applies to, this is going to even apply to a lot of wrestlers. This doesn't have to necessarily apply to Cody or Roman, but this is facts, and you know it's true. You know it's true, whether you want to admit it or not. You know it's true. Punk could have been a champion for a year, and people would have still loved it. People grown tired of Roman. People grow tired of Cody because it's the same old shtick. It's the same old thing over and over again. And, you know, people saying that Roman is like the best thing ever, and he's not. You know, he didn't move the WWE forward. That's bullshit. Okay, that's fucking bullshit. Okay, WWE would have moved forward with or without him. You know, we all know that WWE survived in the worst times ever. Okay, and they still been fine. Okay, so this idea that, oh, he got the deal for Fox or he got the deal for Netflix, no, that's horseshit. Okay, WWE was going to be valued marketing regardless of the wrestlers. Why do you think WWE? Why do you think the WWE Endeavor people don't care about the wrestlers anymore in terms of star power? And I plan on making a video about this as well, but I guess I'll give you a preview of this. How many wrestlers do you think are going to be main eventing WrestleMania in the next 3 years that are in their 30s or less? Like 30 or less. How many wrestlers do you think are going to main event WrestleMania night 1 or 2 that are 30 years old or younger? How many do you think will be there in the next 3 years? Okay? How many do you honestly think are going to be there? Because I'm going to tell you how many I think it's going to be main eventing WrestleMania. 0. WWE doesn't care about young talent anymore. They care about young talent, but they don't care about the main eventing. They care about the stars. They care about, you know, the stars that are going to make them the money. And they're going to keep doing that trend for a long time. That's the one thing I'll give AEW for. Okay? That's the one thing AEW right now has got over WWE. Okay? In terms of what I like about AEW. Is AEW is trying to invest in the young stars being the elite main eventers. But they're not just going on one trip pony. They got MJF, you know, but it's not just always about MJF. They got to do other guys too. You know, and I'm not saying that you can't have, you know, older guys still main event WrestleMania. I'm just saying you got to have a balance. You got to have a balance. And WWE refuses to do that. They refuse to do that. They're soul searching and okay with having the 40-year-olds to close to 50-year-olds main eventing. You don't see any fan discussing right now about, you know, a younger star main eventing WrestleMania next year. You don't. You hear Rock Roman, you hear Punk Roman 2, you hear Cody Punk. Those are the matches you hear. Those are the matches you hear people talk about. That those are the only matches that are worthy for WrestleMania main events, is if it involves Punk and Roman, or involves Roman and Brock, or it's Cody and Punk again. Those are the only people you hear in the legitimate main events. Okay? Now, I guess some people will discuss Obafemi, because obviously they have big expectations for him right now, but that's never a safe bet. Injuries can happen that can prolong things, or things just change, you know, on the fly. You know, things can change, and I think if they do anything with Oba, it would be at SummerSlam. I don't think it would be at WrestleMania. I don't think they would think he's ready for WrestleMania. But that's my point, though. They want the stars. And it's a reason why they kicked Drew McIntyre out of there. Because Drew McIntyre is not a star to them. Drew McIntyre, in their shoes, is a upper mid-carder. I'm fucking serious about that too, by the way. WWE right now, I think Triple H views Drew McIntyre as an upper mid-card. I don't think he views him as a main eventer. He only got the title because they wanted him originally to face Cody at WrestleMania, but then, of course, they scrapped those plans, and so that's why he lost it on SmackDown instead. But that's how they view him. They don't view him as a true main eventer. All right, whether people like that or not, Drew was a Vince guy. Okay, he was a Vince McMahon guy. All right, he didn't get a chance to establish himself as a true main eventer before Vince left. So now he's in this dormant stage, so to speak, where he's kind of a main eventer, but not. Ironically enough, he's kind of probably in the same boat that CM Punk was in with Vince. The only difference is CM Punk was the champion, but just wasn't allowed to main event most of the matches or most of the pay-per-views. But that's kind of where Drew is. That's kind of where Drew is with Triple H, because Drew was supposed to be in that spot. But unfortunately, COVID happened, and that kind of derailed things. And then by the time he came back, that was around by the time the arena, people were being let back into the arenas. That was around the time when Vince McMahon was getting axed out of creative because of the allegations or whatever in 2022. And that's when Triple H started taking over, and then of course took over for real when Endeavor bought the company. So that's kind of where Drew is. And for some people say, well, what about CM Punk was never a Triple H guy? It doesn't matter because CM Punk's established. There's a difference. Same thing with Roman. Roman is not a Triple H guy, but he's established. He's established. All right. Triple H isn't going to pull guys that are established. CM Punk was able to come back into the company, and he was an established guy, especially because of the stuff he did in AEW. People think, his AEW run was clowned on, and, his AEW run, diminished his stock. No, it didn't actually. It actually did the opposite. Why do you guys think that WWE was so eager to bring CM Punk back, even though he was publicly fired on AEW? Okay, the reason why was because he gave AEW their biggest gate in company history. Okay, in their short company history, Punk got record-breaking sales for AEW. Okay, he proved to WWE that yes, he could draw. The fact that he drew the numbers that he drew in AEW in the short time that he drew, or the short time he was with the company, okay, that convinced WWE enough to give him a chance and put him in a main event, to put him in that main event status. And, of course, obviously the merchandise. Newsflash, Roman derangement syndrome fans. CM Punk sold more merchandise than Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, he sold more merchandise than anybody at WrestleMania 42. That's facts. Okay? So again, CM Punk proved his worth and his stock. And that's why Punk is in his position right now with the company. Okay? With Triple H. Okay? That's why he was able to come back in and be in a main spot with Roman and Cody and all the other top guys. Okay? That's why. Okay? And Punk, everything he's done in WWE since coming back has been gold. Better than Roman. Outside, of course, the injury he unfortunately had, when he first came back, he got injured at the Rumble. He cost him the first WrestleMania back that he could have had. I don't know what he would have done at 40 because obviously Rock decided to involve himself in the storyline. So I don't know what Punk was going to do. But I think it would have been Seth, but who knows now? We'll never know. Um, but I think the thing is, it proves that anything Punk did, and even in the injury, they had that Drew McIntyre program. They had that Drew McIntyre program as a result of the legitimate injury, which that got huge numbers as well. Like I said, everything Punk has done has been gold. Okay, everything he's done is gold. Him not being on Raw this past Monday was definitely a dark cloud. I could feel the Raw was just not as good without Punk on there. LA Knight was barely used too as well. You could feel deflation with that Raw. Now, reports are he's going to SmackDown, which I think is just so random because it just kind of defeats the purpose of the brand split. Jacob Fatu is now on Raw. Now Punk is going to just be on SmackDown magically. But it seems like that's what they're going with. So I guess SmackDown's actually going to be better now. Because I've been saying lately, SmackDown's been shit. SmackDown's been god-awful. So Punk being on SmackDown's awesome. For SmackDown at least. Because SmackDown's been awful. And they had Cody and Randy. And Randy hasn't even been on TV since WrestleMania. Drew hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania. I don't know what the hell we're doing on SmackDown right now. But yeah, Punk definitely could help it. It's going to supposedly go to 2 hours now. So it's going to be even limited even more. So, but yeah, I'm just so sick of this Roman stuff. And we kind of just got in the whole discussion about this. But this is mainly about the world title thing. Goddamn. I am so sick of these Roman derangement syndrome fanboys. I really hope we get another Punk Roman match because I'm sick of this. No, because if they do Punk Roman WrestleMania again, he's winning. All right, they're gonna have him win the next time, especially because they can play off of the whole damn fucking he ran out of gas or whatever. He's winning it the next time if they do it again. But man, I'm just so sick of this. I'm sick of this fucking Roman bullshit, fanboyish, crap that Roman has been like the god of WWE for ever when it's factually not. It's been all Vince McMahon hype. It's been Vince McMahon hype for years. And the tribal chief shit. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And now it's more bloodline stuff again. Now we're doing the whole bloodline bullshit again. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. So I'm probably done with Raw. I'm probably going to switch over to SmackDown, especially if Punk's going to be on SmackDown. If Punk's going to be on SmackDown, then man, I'm just going to focus more on SmackDown. It's the same thing because I didn't watch SmackDown as much because SmackDown got boring. It got boring as a show. Raw was interesting because Punk was on it, and there was more compelling storylines in Raw. But if Punk's going to be on SmackDown, it feels like it's going to flip again because the Raw I saw last week, or this past Monday, man, that Raw was garbage, okay? That Raw, it fucking reminded me of the Roman crap on Friday Night SmackDown when it was on Fox. It reminded me of the boring shit that we were getting on SmackDown just recently with Pat McAfee. Man, if we're gonna turn what SmackDown was into Raw, and we're gonna turn Raw, which was Raw has been to SmackDown, I'm probably just gonna watch SmackDown again. Fuck this shit. All right, that's what I gotta say. CM Punk made the world title. That's fact of the matter. Just stop. Just stop. Stop while you're getting ahead. All right, just stop. Just stop while you're ahead, guys. You know it's true. Y'all know it's true. And you just got to stop with this, guys. You just got to stop with it. That's all I got to say. I'm out of here. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. Comment, rate, like, hit the bell for all the latest contents. I'm out. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of it. Peace.